Right out of the gate, understand this. An enhanced manslaughter charge means the punishment range explodes. This is the difference between years and decades.
All right, ma'am, you're Michelle Cormier?
Yes, ma'am.
And Cormier's here with Mr. Radford. Mr. Coleman's here for the state. Miss Cormier was previously in court, entered pleas of guilty, and cause numbers, again, 125, 1446, and 1447. First to the first-degree felony enhanced offense of manslaughter, and then the third-degree enhanced of possession of a controlled substance. There was no agreement, and so I've received the pre-sentence report. Have you both had an opportunity to review that report?
Stay ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Are there any additions or corrections to the report?
Not from the state.
Judge, I submitted a letter from Ms. Cormier's aunt that I would ask that the court include in the pre-sentence report.
I received a copy of that, Judge. No objection.
I have received and reviewed that as well. Any other additions or corrections?
No, ma'am.
Have you both also had an opportunity to review jail incident reports? I think they were probably emailed to you guys as well.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Excuse me.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. So it's unagreed. Mr. Bradford, I'll let you proceed. Do you have witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor. We call Michelle Cormier.
Ms. Cormier, come up to the witness stand, please, ma'am. Before you sit down, if you'll please raise your right hand the best you can. You swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You can have a seat.
Michelle, can you state your name for the court?
Michelle Cormier.
And you're the defendant in this case. Is that
Yes, sir.
And you have pled guilty to manslaughter and also possession of a controlled substance in a jail facility, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I'd like to, the judge, they did a pre-sentence report, but I'd like you to add some things about yourself. How old are you?
I'm 45.
And how long have you been a drug addict?
Since about 09.
2009?
Yes, sir. And then I went to rehab and stayed sober for almost 10 years and then relapsed.
Okay, you told me, I think you recall, you told me you relapsed. You went to SafeP in 2015, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you completed that.
Yes, sir.
And then you relapsed.
Yes, sir.
Why did you relapse?
My son's father passed away and I wasn't on the correct medication that I am now. And I turned to drugs instead of getting help.
I mean, looks like throughout your life you've turned to drugs a lot.
Yes, sir.
Would you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Are you a drug addict?
Yes, sir. I was.
I want you to tell the judge.
Yes, ma'am, I was.
I mean, some people say that once you're a drug addict, you're always a drug addict. That you always have to fight to stay off the drugs. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sir, you do.
Because your body knows what that euphoria of the drugs and you fall back on that.
Yes, sir.
Tell the judge why you think now that you can kick that and can stay clean and stay sober, and why you want to do that.
Your Honor, I look at life totally different now. I used to rely on drugs. Now I rely on God. I'm going to do any and everything possible to stay sober and clean for the rest of my life and be successful. I have a very strong support system. I have my daughter back in my life since I haven't been using and been locked up these 16 months. She lets me talk to my grandson that wasn't in my life at this time. I have an aunt I did not know I had.
Is she here today?
Yes, sir, she is. That came into my life whenever all this occurred, and she comes and sees me just about every week. She's willing to help me any way possible to succeed. I also am going to attend AA, NA groups, become a member. I'm going to go to church. I'm going to volunteer in the community as much as possible. Whatever I have to do to stay sober, that's what I want to do. And all I'm asking, Judge, is for a chance of freedom to just prove to myself and everyone else that I can be sober, that I don't have to turn to drugs.
Were you willing to try to get any kind of help that the judge gives you?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
Send you back to Safety, send you to ISF, anything?
Yes, sir. Or the JCDI program, which is a year program as well. And I could do that outside of the facilities.
Now, I want to ask you about, you smuggled in some heroin, is that correct?
Yes, sir. I did.
And did you use some of that heroin?
Yes, sir. I did. I came in on October the 30th of 2024. And wait. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And I had it all the way up until that occurred. And me and several other people, as well as Shelby was doing the drug.
Now,
And I did not mean for anything like that to happen.
did you know there was fentanyl in it?
No, I did not, Your Honor. So, Your Honor.
Can I approach?
Yeah.
I'd like to mark this defendant's one. I'm going to show you what's marked as defendant's one. That's a copy. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
Is that the note that Shelby gave you asking for drugs?
Yes, sir, it is.
It says later, so no one's in our business. Will you give
Mr.
me?
Bradford, if you'll.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm going to enter this. That's defendant's one. No objection.
Defendants once admitted.
So I'm going to read this, and is this was your understanding what Shelby asked you? Later, so no one in our business, will you give me another line wrapped up in some paper for me to do? I got you on the phones, and I'll buy you a few things tomorrow. Is that what she wrote you?
Yes, sir, it is.
Had she already done a line?
Yes, sir, she had.
The family of Shelby is here today. What do you have to say to them?
I wish I could go.
This is the tightrope every court walks, acknowledging addiction without excusing harm. Sympathy exists, but accountability never disappears. This note changes everything. It shows consent, intent, and shared addiction, but it does not erase the legal
Go back to that
responsibility
day
for what happened
and
next.
change it all. And I wish that I was never a drug addict. It's hard. And whenever another addict is asking an addict for drugs, it's hard not to give it. And I did not mean for that to happen. If I would have known that it was going to happen, I wouldn't have done it. I didn't know it had fentanyl. I did not know the severity of it because I do it and I didn't expect anybody to do it. And I'm so sorry. There's nothing that I can do to change that.
Has the fact that Shelby died affected your outlook on drugs in your life?
Yes, it has.
Tell the judge how.
It has, Your Honor.
I mean, you killed somebody with some drugs. I mean, I don't think you meant to do it, but you did.
Yes. And I have to live with that for the rest of my life. That's something that I deal with daily, every day. And it's hard. But I've been getting through it, and there's drugs that still come through that facility. And you have to say no. And if you can't say no, then you're always going to be an addict. You have to change your people, places, and things.
That's a witness.
Mr. Coleman.
Just a few questions. Yes. Good morning, Ms. Cormier. Should there be consequences for the death of Shelby Irvin?
Yes.
Did Shelby Irvin deserve to die?
No, she did not.
You talked about being an addict and using drugs to self-medicate. You would agree with me that self-medication is one thing, but distribution of a controlled substance is a totally different thing. You would agree with me on that?
Yes.
I mean, you can be an addict and you can self-medicate and not distribute those drugs, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's a choice that you made inside that jail to distribute what you have testified to this judge to believe to have been heroin, correct?
Yes, sir.
And having been a drug addict for a number of years, you know that when you purchase any substance nowadays, if you believe it to be containing one thing, it very well could contain fentanyl, correct?
Yes, sure. And I bought from the same person. I've never known it to have fentanyl. And I bought it for my usage.
And I get it, but my question is a very pointed question.
Yes, sir.
You understand nowadays, if you buy what you think is heroin, it very well may have fentanyl. You understand?
Now I do. Yes, sir.
You didn't know that back when you purchased this heroin?
No,
And that's what you want this judge to believe?
I did not know that it had fentanyl in it. I believed that it was heroin.
Okay. Just one last question. You talked about how Shelby's death has affected your outlook. You would agree with me that it most definitely has affected the outlook of Shelby's family.
Yes, it has.
Absolutely, Judge.
That's all I have.
Thank you. You can step down. Any witnesses, Mr. Coleman?
No, Judge.
All right.
Just for the court's information, the family would like to make a victim impact statement at the appropriate time.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, and one other thing, Judge, just really briefly, state has filed a motion to accumulate, and I would understand, given the wide punishment range for the enhanced manslaughter in this case, I would understand the court's position on that motion to accumulate. State, of course, is asking, I think PSI speaks for itself with regard to criminal history and the nature of the circumstances. You understand where the state's coming from, but what we've offered in this case. And the family also wanted me to let the court know that they want nothing less than 30 years, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Rapper, you may make argument.
Yes, ma'am. I'll try to be brief. I hope, though, my words may sway you in your decision. About 3 years ago, my cousin called me, and he was in tears because his only son had relapsed, and he found him dead from a heroin overdose laced with fentanyl. He was 29 years old. He was a registered nurse, and I don't have a lot of family, so I rushed up to Fort Worth to be with him. So I understand this. My wife's sister died from an opioid overdose. I understand drug addicts. I understand how it affects people. But in this case, you don't have malicious intent. That fentanyl statute was designed to prosecute drug dealers that laced their smack with fentanyl. It wasn't designed for junkies who share their drugs. And that's what we have in this case. Because you have a note there, and in the civil world, this would be called assumption of the risk, where she asked for the drugs and she gave it to him, and she had no reason to believe that they were going to kill her. And evidently she had used it before. So there's not malicious intent in this case. What she did was absolutely wrong. I agree with that, and she should be punished. But I think she really wants to try to get help too. So what I would ask is that you give her some time on the possession of drugs in a penal institution. And then you put her on a long probation on the manslaughter because it's enhanced. And if she screws up, you can give her life. And you send her to SafeP, and you send her to ISF, and you send her to any kind of drug program that you can, because I don't think that she's ready to be thrown away. So I think you can achieve both means in this case by giving her some time on one case and letting her try to get some help on the other.
Thank you, Mr. Radford. Mr. Coleman.
I have nothing further to add, Judge. I essentially made my closing argument heard.
First, thank all of y'all for being here. I know this is hard on both sides of this. There's no winner, no loser. Well, there's two losers and two losing families here today. And so I appreciate y'all being here. This is a tough one. For me, I typically have a whole bunch of notes written on the front of my PSIs on what I'm thinking about doing. I don't have that in this one. I've thought about it a lot. I've sat through some trial or two with regard to fentanyl, and there's some things that I agree with both Mr. Coleman and Mr. Radford on with regard to the specific law itself. I think who it was intended for with regard to fentanyl, but that's not.
As for interrupting the court, Judge, but you
This is the state's bullseye. Using drugs hurts you. Giving drugs can kill someone else. That legal distinction is why this case is here. Deferred adjudication sounds lenient, but it's actually a loaded trapdoor. One mistake and sentencing
understand that
comes
we
back
filed.
with
Yeah, I know.
zero
I'm
mercy.
just,
Proceed on that.
and that's what I was getting to that. I think everybody's kind of realized what the intention of that statute is and was, and I understand why the state has changed this, and it makes sense. I understand the family wanting you to go away for a long time. I get that. I feel like I probably would too. I also get, with the best that I can, I believe that you did not know there was fentanyl in that. I think that is been fairly clear in this case that there wasn't an intent to distribute fentanyl. The problem comes in that you're distributing drugs in the jail, and that fentanyl is such an issue. It is a little hard to believe that you wouldn't have an idea that it could have it in there. Every drug nowadays could have it in there, every single one. And we're seeing more and more of those in here. And so for people that are distributing or addicts that are using, it is hard to really believe that you don't have some idea that it could. I also know that people who are in the middle of addiction aren't thinking about anything other than getting high, and you're thinking you're getting high on heroin. And I'm going on and on a little bit because I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. There is a side of me that has no doubt that you probably deserve to go away for a very long time. I don't think you intended to kill anybody at all. I think there are other cases in this court where people have much more malicious intent. And then, can you come back later? So I just think there's cases where there's much more malicious intent, where people are given certain opportunities for different types of offenses, where they really do mean to do harm to someone, and they're given opportunities. The criminal history concerns me because it's drugs. You've already been to SafeP. You've been given those tools, and you're saying all the right words up here today about what you want to do, and you want to go to AA, and you want to volunteer and go to the church. And the time for that was back in 2015 too, when you went to SafeP the first time. Here's what I'm thinking about, and I really hadn't thought about it before, and is what Mr. Radford actually brought up. And I've done things like this in other cases where someone is given, because they have two cases, I kind of have two options. The impact of going to prison for some amount of time, and then, Ms. Cormier, if you really want to change your life, you might have that opportunity. And if you don't take advantage of that opportunity, I can assure you that I won't forget these faces that are staring me right now, probably going to disagree with what I do. Okay? So I will have the rest of your life to do what I need to do if you are not serious about what you're talking about doing. So what I'm going to do in cause number 25 DCCR 1447, find that you entered your plea freely and voluntarily, and at this time find you guilty of possession of a controlled substance. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 5 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. In cause number 25 DCCR 1448, I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, in that case, what I'm going to do is defer all proceedings and place you on probation for 10 years. And let me explain what that means. The deferred probation is not for you. That's for me. And that's for the family, even though I know they may not feel like that today, but that's for them. That means when you get out of prison, you do the 5 years in prison, you get out, you're going to be on probation for 10 years. And if you violate your probation in any way, you will be on zero tolerance. You will, if you need help, you're going to have to ask for it. I'm not going to sit here and order a bunch of stuff that you may or may not need in 5 years. You test positive one time, zero tolerance means you don't get to come in and go, now I need SafeP. Now I need help. Now I'm going to go to AA. Now I'm going to do these things. That opportunity is gone. You either figure it out or you're going to prison for probably as long as they're asking for or longer. All right. Any conditions other than the zero tolerance, I'm really not inclined to be specific. Mr. Coleman, whatever they assess and determine she needs when she's released from prison is what I'm thinking would be appropriate, but I would definitely listen to anything you had to add.
Nothing comes to mind, Judge. I'll refer to the court and the probation department.
So what they'll do when you're released from custody is do an assessment. And if they think you need to go to safety at that point, whatever it is, I don't care what it is. If they think you need to go to safety, you go to safety. You don't say, oh, I'm going to call Mr. Radford and I've been in prison for 5 years and I don't think I need to go now. I don't want to hear anything about it. If they say you go, you go. If they, whatever it is, if you violate, then you'll be back in here immediately with any violation. I just don't know how to make that more clear. So you'll be handed in a minute the trial court certifications in each of these cases. These were not agreements, so you do have some rights to appeal.
Does it my understanding that she will be on probation? The probation time will start when she's released from TDC?
I think it actually starts now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I can postpone that because it's an invariable date. We don't know for sure when that's going to be. So technically, it starts now. So it'll depend on parole, when and if she makes parole on that first case. Then you're already on probation, immediately report. And so at a minimum, there will be 5 years after that I will have supervision. Maximum, if she makes parole, it could be even more or longer than that you'll be on supervision. But no, it'll start now.
I'll explain that to her.
Yeah. I wish it could be the other way. I wish it could start later and that would give me more supervision time. But for everybody that know or is here, 10 years is the maximum probation. So if I could do longer, I would. But if someone's really going to get their life together, we're going to know probably within 1 year. I would think if you're really serious about this, then 5 years is long enough for us to get that figured out, hopefully. I know there's going to be a victim impact statement. Mr. Coleman will go off the record and they can come up and we'll have one victim impact statement.
Could I have a moment to explain to her what that is?